Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. Today I wanted to talk about the ship pricing problem and the pricing of ships in the game short and long term. Teacher's shop in Alevsky on Delamar was added to 3.3's PTU, allowing for the purchase of ships with Alpha UEC, a feature wanted since the game had a persistent universe. Shops like this will have a selection of ships, but not all of the ships, based on the shop's inventory and where it is in the verse and all that sort of stuff. So in Teachers, in the current 3.3.0 VPTU, there are Dragonflies for around 70,000 Alpha UEC, a Tumble Cyclone, Auroras from 220,000 to 500,000, Buccaneers for 1.1 million, Hornets for 1.49 million, a Cutlass for 1.55 million, and a Prospector for 1.6 million. You interact with the ship to purchase it. There will, in the future, be terminals that allow you to buy these ships from like a kiosk UI. Insurance-wise, once 3.3 goes live, when you buy a ship from Teacher's Shop, you'll keep it until you have a server resets the intention. So that basically you'll be able to claim them with insurance like you would any other ship that you owned. They are in the process of balancing the prices and mission rewards for 3.3 currently. So short-term pricing, and this is the pricing that we are most interested in at the moment. The pricing of the ships has caused some backers to claim the prices are unobtainable or unrealistic for the state of the current PU, in the short term anyway. The game, after all, is reset often, at least once every 3 months when it comes to a live build. The argument really here is boiling down to, if they are adding this feature to purchase ships in game, then those ships should be obtainable at the least, otherwise there's no point in having the feature. And those ships should be available in a timely manner so you can actually play with them and test them before that is a reset. Those prices are obtainable for some, but not for others. And with a few tweaks, I actually think they could work a lot better, and they're balancing it at the moment, so this is a good time to talk about it. It's worth mentioning at this stage that this sort of stuff is for testing and for balance. These are major factors when it comes to ship prices in the short term as well. They want players to earn ships, then resets to happen, and then players to earn those ships again. This gives them metrics for mission rewards, progression, what prices things should be at. But will obviously change and evolve a lot in the future once more gameplay loops come online and once there's a lot more to the game. Making money Alpha UEC in 3.3 is done in a few different ways. Missions, cargo hauling, responding to service beacons with escorts and pickups, mining, scramble races, and to a small extent, scavenging for cargo boxes while you're doing other missions and things. So your ability to do these gameplay loops is going to vary based on what ships you have. If you only have a starter ship, like an Aurora or a Mustang, then you're limited in what you can do. You can do sort of like minimal cargo runs, and you probably would want to focus on high-value materials because you've got a very small cargo bay. Maybe you would want to pick up people in an Aurora, do escort missions, or you might want to focus just on certain types of mission. Now, missions come in a variety of options, from combat to investigation, to clearing out AI at Security Post Korea, to fetch a box quest. There are issues with the fetch quests currently with the Aurora and the Mustang. Eventually you will be able to place mission boxes by hand in these ships. Maybe with 3.3 Live, the Mustang will actually have the functionality to put a box in the rear if the rear cargo bay door opens properly, then great. Mission rewards have been criticised, though, for being too low. But the more missions you do, the more rep you build up, and the more access to some of the more lucrative paying missions you will get. Now, there's not that many missions in 3.3, but there are a few more, and grinding some of the earlier ones that you probably have already done a few times before does start to then pay dividends when you get a little bit more money for doing certain ones. Still, grinding up to 1.6 million Alpha UEC would be a significant time investment when just doing missions, especially when making money via cargo hauling can be incredibly lucrative, as you're just able to sort of like leverage the amount of Alpha UEC you have to just make more, as long as you're working out the trade routes and you're protecting yourself, because there are players out there, there are NPCs out there that will wreck your day if you've just got all of your money tied into your ship. So bear that in mind as well. So how do you get from your starter ship to a ship that can make you more money? Well, For me, in Teacher's Shop, there's a missing link at the moment. Something like an Avenger Titan that has the ability to transport cargo, but is also suitable for the myriad of other missions in the game. Something like that then allows you to better leverage your Alpha UEC into making much more with cargo runs, and actually get into some of the other missions as well, like fetch quests, and some of the more combat-y ones more easily. And also allows you to start to make more money to get more ships. Like, people that have caterpillars, they're going to be able to jump in, and if they've got a reasonable amount of Alpha UEC, or if they grind a little bit of Alpha UEC, they're then able to leverage the ability to use their Alpha UEC to fill their ship, and then go and trade with that. Now, yes, that is dangerous if they're not doing it with any escorts, or if players go, hang on, that guy's doing that, I'm going to ruin his day. So just be aware of that. But I'm just saying that's an option, and that's some of the inequality that you'll see in the verse, especially at this stage. We are getting the ability to rent ships in the PU at some point as well. It's not confirmed whether that will be in Teacher's Shop in 3.3 or at all in Teacher's Shop. It may only be certain shops that have rentals. However, it is likely that teachers will have it, in my opinion. We also don't know the relative price of rentals as well, the length of rental, how it operates when the ship is lost or destroyed, so bear that in mind. But the idea is significantly cheaper accessibility to a ship. However, the long-term use of that ship would be significantly more expensive than buying, if you see what I mean. 3.3.5 has an additional shop, Big Deal, in Lawville on Hurston, with a different selection of ships as well. This is also confirmed to have the ability to rent. The different selection of ships suggests to me teachers will have rental too. Again, if that's in 3.3, that'll be great, as then players can actually have access to all those ships without having the problem buying them. Yeah, earlier on you could grab a cutlass to do cargo runs, a prospector to mine. Longer term pricing obviously isn't an issue now, but this is going to largely be dynamic, so prices of ships will be based on materials, components, time, labour, and technology needed to build them, as well as the area they're in, supply and demand. Missions will be generated for NPCs and players to bring materials to areas that need them for their economies. These materials will then actually be made into components and ships and that sort of stuff. A shortage of materials will see a rise in prices for ships and items that need them. So longer term, there will also be a lot more missions. These will be scalable as well. Opportunities to earn Alpha UEC as part of a crew will be a thing. People working towards larger payouts because of that. So there's a lot more opportunity in the future and a lot more going on that then allows people to get access to these ships. And the ships will be dynamically priced. And that's the important thing. So some of my opinions on this sort of stuff. I'm not sure if in the short term ships should be priced with the cost of dollars of the ship in mind. It's going to go the way of being dynamically priced eventually anyway. So you're going to see a very odd perversion of, well, my ship was $300, but now it's really super cheap in game, or now it's a super expensive ship. And that's going to vary from place to place and from time to time. Trying to balance prices and gameplay around dollars and the dollar costs does not seem a smart way of doing things, especially when we have an extremely limited portion of gameplay loops, jobs, roles, ships, and ways to actually earn Alpha UEC in game. I'm not saying completely ignore it, I'm just saying that there's a lot more to the equation for the short term than just dollars for ships. The game can now start to be play to win rather than any form of gating or pay to win. So I prefer them to start to look towards that. The reason to buy ships is to support the Star Citizen project and get a little bonus from that. Ships change in price in dollars. Ships become more expensive as they go through the pipeline, going from concept to flyable, so they get more and more expensive in the dollar value anyway. But balancing gameplay and in-game costs just around dollar is just a bad idea, in my opinion. So, UEC reworks, a bit juxtaposed to my previous statement. I do think that they do need to rework UEC that have been bought on people's accounts. So people could buy, I think it's like $1 worth of UEC is worth 1,000 UEC at the moment, and you buy it in like blocks of 5,000. That needs to be reworked at some point, at least just before any final reset, in my opinion. However, the short-term benefit of UEC on your account, or a player's account, does allow them to start each reset with more Alpha UEC. So you get the starting amount of Alpha UEC you would normally, plus any UEC on your account at the moment. A potential solution, or at least something to help mitigate inaccessibility for ships, would potentially be have everyone start with a little bit more Alpha UEC, at least in the short term for like 3.3 live. When will purchases and Alpha UEC stick? When will they no longer be deleted or reset? So once they have full persistence in, which is one of the pillars of release, there is no need for the game to be reset, and they could potentially start to be moving into using UEC rather than Alpha UEC. In fact, full persistence might see them use UEC rather than Alpha UEC from the off, though I think it's more likely that they would wait at least until server meshing is also completed, which will come a bit later. They will let us know the plans for resets as they move forward, and when any final resets will happen too. So just bear that in mind. They're not just going to say, and today, now is the reset. They're not going to spring it on you like that, and they're not going to say, actually we decided not to reset. Full persistence may well be implemented towards the end of 2019 as well, so bear that in mind. Some other stuff, selling ships. There isn't any information at the moment on selling ships in-game. We should be able to sell to both players and some shops though. Referrals. Backers getting referrals can also get access to more ships which are added to their accounts as real ships. 10 recruits, for example, gets you a Gladius. That might work for some people to get more ships. Subscribers. So subscribers, every month, they get a different ship of the month to use for the Persistent Universe. They could use that potentially to get some more Alpha UEC in-game. There are free fly events as well that allow backers to have some extra ships in the Persistent Universe for a limited time. So, solutions and conclusions from me. The issues here are mostly, when it comes to ship purchasing and pricing and all that sort of stuff, short-term problems. But there are a few solutions to that. The short term is, now, when I'm actually playing. So, as long as there are potentially some more steps between an Aurora and the Cutlass and Prospector, so the range of 70,000 for a Dragonfly all the way up to 1.6 million for the Prospector just seems a little unreasonable. There needs to be some points in between that. So something like an Avenger Titan being affordable without too much grind would be great there, because that then allows you to make more money. Or the alternative there is have rentals. Rentals coming online would allow players to have access to these ships and again make more money. Or they need to rebalance mission rewards and ship prices to make them more obtainable. Or they need to give players a larger chunk of Alpha UBC to start them off in the Persistent Universe for, again, this is all short-term stuff, or a mixture of all of that together. Lots of ors, lots of potential solutions, but please tell me your thoughts in the comments below, as some of these are basically my solutions and my ideas. They're not necessarily the best, but they are some things that would potentially work in some situations. I'll link the thread for balance on Teacher's Shop and ship prices down below for you as well if you want to get involved with the conversation. My radar have provided a new Anvil Valkyrie to give away. All you need to do is to be subscribed to my YouTube channel and then comment on any of my star sets and videos made during October. My Radar is a mobile app for iOS and Android that provides up-to-the-minute weather information in the US, Europe, and Japan, with service in Australia coming in by the end of 2018. It allows Star Citizen players to view detailed maps of the moons in-game as well, Yela, Selin, and Daymar. A new version will be released this month that includes new features, including outpost markers and updated maps. Also, if you're looking to get or upgrade a gaming PC, then consider Shadow instead. Shadow is a subscription-based cloud gaming PC service that can turn most devices, phone, laptop, PC, tablet, and more into a powerful gaming PC via the internets. Links to more info in the description for that, and if you do decide to try it, then use the code BoredGamer to get a discount on the service.